9 times out of the 10, people know what they're looking for when they walk in the door. If that house fits them, it fits them. But it's all about the integrity.
Yeah.
If they trust you, they'll work with you.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Josue Ortega. I'm a loan officer here in Washington State, and today we're gonna interview one of my good friends. He's super wise, #1 recruiter at Keller Williams, and he has an amazing story, and I think you guys are gonna take a lot from it. So, with no further ado, Terral Russel. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I appreciate it.
Today's your birthday?
Today's my birthday.
Heck yeah.
Turned 36 years young, making power moves, trying to grow up and, teach what I can learn throughout the process, Been in real estate, left Tri-Cities, working hard, did a lot of different things for multiple different opportunities. Scratch that one. But did a lot of different things for multiple different people, multiple companies.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Still trying to grow, still learning every day. Real estate has been one of the hugest things that I could actually add to my life, and add value to other people's lives as well. So, I really love the career.
Hey, that's awesome. So there you go, guys. So Terral, you were telling me a little bit that you grew up in Louisiana, and you're one of how many siblings?
14.
14 siblings.
Yeah, a lot of older brothers and sisters.
That's awesome.
Learned a lot.
So tell us a little bit about the beginning stages of your life. What were you like as a kid? What was life like for you as a kid? Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up in a broken home with a lot of good values. My mom and my dad split up at when I was very young, and so I did a lot of back and forth to Washington from Louisiana. Like I said, being the youngest of 14, you learn to appreciate things a lot more. Everything in my life was a hand-me-down, so nothing was ever given to me. I had to work hard. Like I said, I grew up around a lot of influences that I didn't want to be anything like. But a lot of strong role models in my life as well. With good morals, and as a kid, I was very playful. I always liked doing things for other people. My mom would go to like church retreats, and we weren't very as fortunate as most of the families around us. So I would do car washes, sell candy, sell KoolAid, just to earn money, just find ways to earn money so that my family could actually go out and afford to do things that everyone else was doing.
I remember one time you told me that you would get lemonade, was it, and go to the
KoolAid.
KoolAid.
Oh yeah, KoolAid.
And you would go sell, so you guys could get what was it, clothes or something for retreats?
Well, actually, they didn't have the funds. Coming from a household where there's a whole bunch of kids we're not always able to do everything. Whereas a family that may have 2 or 3 kids, are more fortunate and have that flexibility. So being the kid that just kind of sat back and watched the struggles that my family would go through, I always wanted to find ways to kind of provide value for them. Even at young age, 12, 13 years old, I'm going to the neighbors and helping them with their landscaping and just doing all kind of stuff just to try to help my family out.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I can relate to you a little bit because I didn't have 14 siblings, but growing up, my parents were, they weren't in the best situation. They were immigrants from Mexico. We had a lot of things that we had to work really hard for that you probably could relate to, that other people kind of just like, it was natural to them. It came more naturally to them, So, there was no like Disney World field trips or anything like that either, And me being the oldest, I had a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibilities to take care of the little ones, and so I imagine there was like some sort of dynamic like that.
Vice versa. My parents were. My mom was a strong church lady, so she did the best she could do. She worked from home. She was a hair braider. She'd braid hair and try to do the best she could. My dad flipped houses. So I kind of grew up around it, being the youngest one. I watched how my dad would network with other guys, and he was very a people's person. He had the gift of gab. He could talk to anybody.
That's where you got it from.
That's where I got it from. And I give him credit for that. He was everybody liked him. And that was inspiring to me because I looked up to him and I was like, man, everybody likes this guy. Every person I meet is like, hey, how you doing, Frank Jr.? You know, like just saying all of that stuff. And, you know, like I said, that was my dad. But, you know, I grew up and split out. My mom moved to Washington and I had a good, strong stepdad as well who was a church-going guy. I played the drums growing up in church and, you know, I had a child. He raised me right, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Raised me right.
That's awesome. And so, so you're growing up in Louisiana, then you moved to Washington. You know, I know you did a lot of jobs before you became a realtor. So tell us a little bit about that. Before you became a realtor, what kind of like skills from the other jobs? Because you did door knocking, right?
Yeah, I did door knocking, but I worked at McDonald's. You know, one thing that was my first job was a courtesy clerk at Safeway. You know, I was 14 years old and I'd go in there and my parents would always shop at Safeway. It was right up the street from my house. And my parents would always shop there and I'd go up in there and I'd always ask the manager, hey, how do you think I could get a job here at 14 years old?
14 years old, go-getter since then.
He was like he's like, when you turn 16 years old, you can come in and he was like, I'll give you a job. If you're 16 and you come in and you ask for a job, I'll give you a job. So that was my very first job. I prepared every day. Every time I'd go up there, I pushed the carts, just being helpful for no reason. Just clearing all the carts out in. My mom's just sitting in the car waiting for me after she's gotten groceries. Like, get in the car, boy. You know? But that was just always me. And then worked at McDonald's after that. You know, I learned real customer service and I learned good customer service and bad customer service.
McDonald's.
I started distinguishing the differences, you know, and how they mattered and how to grow a business. I got tired of basically people telling me how much money I could actually make, you know. I had that drive to where I always wanted to, you know, get paid for my performance. And so that's what led me into like the door-to-door sales and stuff like that. I was able to actually go out and get paid based on my performance. So.
For door-to-doors. And what was that experience like? I mean, it teaches you a lot of grit and hustle, but tell us a little bit how that contributed to your success as a realtor.
Absolutely. So one thing you get from door-to-door experience, they say is 1 year of door-to-door sales is equivalent to 4 years of communication in college. So with 15 plus years of door-to-door experience, you learn how to build rapport with just about anybody. And so what that taught me was how to get in build relationships, and that's what real estate is all about. Real estate isn't about trying to sell somebody. Real estate is all about building relationships. And if you can build relationship with people, you can sell real estate, because 9 times out of the 10, people know what they're looking for when they walk in the door. If that house fits them, it fits them. But it's all about the integrity. If they trust you, they'll work with you. If they know that it's about them, then they'll feel more comfortable moving forward with you. And then you don't even have to talk about the conversation. They already know which direction you guys are both heading, you know.
That's a clip. That's a knowledge bomb right there for you guys.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. And that's really interesting that you said it's a relationship business and that 9 out of 10 people already know what they're looking for. And that's 100% true. I think a lot of people, they try to sell real estate, but in many ways you're closing real estate.
100%.
And it's because you're catering to what they need, what they want. And so, see, that's the awesome thing about you. It's like, you know, and you use all these years of experience and you put it into this one field and you're super successful at it. So tell us a little bit, now that you're a realtor, I know you got your managing brokers, you're getting it?
I'm getting my managing broker's license. I've actually done 4 years of consecutive real estate. It's a 3-year requirement for you to get your managing broker's license. That way you can actually start teaching and creating value for other people. And that's one of my goals, is to create generational wealth. Like I said, a lot of this stuff wasn't taught in my community. I know it wasn't taught in different communities. And growing up and just seeing all of the opportunities, you know, it's all about reading. You know, knowledge is power, but awareness is everything. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't know how to utilize it, then it's wasted. I definitely just try to make sure that I always am creating value for everyone else. So that's why I'm getting my managing broker's license, because I want to create that value for other people. I want to show them that, you know, there's multiple ways of life. You know, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. And people really do face hardships and, you know, misdirection, and they waste years of like talent that they could be utilizing on different fields, just wasting it. You know, just wasting it. time is the most precious thing. It's also the most expensive thing on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care how much money you make, you can never buy more time.
No.
So, you know, I definitely want to make sure I create value and save time for everybody else, you know.
Yeah.
You only live once.
And I love that wisdom and your, how do you say, your perception, how you just see things like that. And, you know, I think that's what makes you a really good leader, especially like for young dudes like me. We're always looking for mentors like you that can tell us things like that, show us how valuable time is. You know, we grow up in an environment sometimes where there's not a lot of mentors around us.
100%.
And this is why it's so important. And so I think that's one of your most amazing qualities. And I think it's really a huge advantage for you going into like your managing brokers. And you're going to recruit people.
It's a major accomplishment.
Right?
A major accomplishment. I know. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. And what I was just trying to say is that wisdom, that leadership, I feel is going to set you apart from a lot of other managing brokers, because you see things differently. You see things at like a deeper level because of what you lived through.
100%.
And so, tell us a little bit about, you know, your number one recruiting agent at Keller Williams.
The number one real estate brokerage company in the world.
Wow. So there you go, guys.
So that's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so congratulations on that. What's your take on recruiting people then? Because you have the skill sets, you have the charisma, you recruit a lot of big talent. Tell us a little bit about, you know, I know who he is, but like the people that you lately been talking to, recruiting, and your take on recruiting from like where you want to take it, your vision on that.
Okay, so my goal is not just to create the biggest brokerage firm in the Pacific Northwest. You know, everything is a stepping stone, but it's also about guiding people. You know, our age, our group. I have a lot of friends that's told me before, Terrell, you saved my life. Man, you showed me a better way. Like, man, when my back was on the wall and I didn't know what to do, man, you really put an opportunity in front of my face. And there's a lot of guys on different platforms, on different levels of life that's searching for that same mentorship, that same guidance. So there's people that are like Jordan Chin. He's a wide receiver for the University of Washington Huskies football, getting ready to do his pro debut, getting ready to go to the NFL. I started talking to him. He started watching my stories on Instagram and actually following me. And, you know, I've had people come to me and basically say, Terrell, like, how do you get into real estate? I mean, even as a young kid, everybody knows that real estate is the highest market of sales that you could actually be a part of. So how do I get into that field? How do I shoot for the top? You know, and they come to you looking for that type of guidance. And so what I do in that particular situation is educate myself, so that I can break it down to them so that they understand it. It's all about direction and guiding people in the right direction so that they understand what is to come. If they can't see the end, then they don't know what the process is going to be like, then they can't think past the beginning.
Gotcha.
So
wow, that's
why I say, you know, you have to be able to at least get people to, you know, build that momentum, because that momentum builds motivation. That motivation is what's going to keep the drive going. Everybody has to have their why. Everybody has their why. My why is my history, you know, the way I was raised. Your why might be completely different than that, but everybody has to have their why. But if you can guide that why into success, then it's usually fairly easy to kind of show people real estate, because like I said, the houses pretty much sell themselves.
Yeah. You know, Terrell, he's someone that has been able to attract a lot of high level people that maybe they're sought out for by other, you know, realtors or you know, brokers and stuff like that. But these people are driving 3 hours, 2 hours to come and meet him
Through the snow,
to come in classes and stuff. And I hope you guys could definitely see why I see it. And you know, I think I'm gonna leave it there. If you're looking to get into real estate and you want a mentor and, you know, someone that's gonna show you the way, this is your guy right here. So hit him up.